Hi everyone, my name is Julie. This is Keep Calm with Books and Coffee. I talk about books on this channel, mainly books about magic, and today we are going to be doing my Our Fantasy TBR for 2025. Hello everyone and welcome to my TBR for this year's challenge. If you are unfamiliar with Our Fantasy and you'd like to know what it is, this is a Reddit-based reading challenge where the mods come up with 25 prompts for readers to expand their horizons, to check out new books, to check out things that maybe they haven't before, and it's all based around fantasy and sci-fi, horror, speculative, all those types of genres. There are different levels of this, which I will get into in a second, but if you'd like to check out the full list of prompts and participate yourself, I will have the challenge linked down below. Last year was my first year participating in this, and I didn't end up trying to hit hard mode. I did in a few cases, but I didn't always hit it. And I also didn't quite get the challenge finished. So I think I had 4 or 5 prompts remaining at the end of the year. So I'm hoping to beat that this year and maybe possibly read all 25 prompts. I'm excited to try. It was really fun last year. It did definitely expand my, reading and get me to explore a couple of places that I don't think I would have otherwise. And that's what I'm hoping to do this year as well. I'm not necessarily going for hard mode. Hard mode is an extra challenge on top of the prompt, but I did set myself a little bit of an extra challenge because I do try to pick as much off of my physical TBR as possible. And if I didn't find something on my own physical TBR, I tried to pick a diverse author or book of some kind to fulfill the prompt. So that was my little extra challenge to myself rather than going for hard mode this year, since I don't know that I'm ready to tackle hard mode. I will get there, but I'd like to complete the board once before I tackle, all the hard modes as well. I am going to attempt to hit hero mode this year by reviewing each one of the books that I read for this. I'd like to review it on my Goodreads and Storygraph, because even though I do rate them and I do wrap-ups, I don't necessarily post those thoughts, and I'm trying to get better about posting on my reviews on those sites. So that's my extra little bits of challenge, but now let's jump into the actual prompts and my TBR. First up is Knights and Paladins. So one of the protagonists has to be a knight or a paladin, and for this I've chosen Blood Marked by Tracy Dion. This could possibly be my reread in that I have to reread Legendborn before jumping into Blood Marked, but I found this suggestion in the Reddit's the discussion on each topic, and I think this will work great because I really want to jump back into this series. I just haven't taken the time since each one of these is pretty chunky. I'm hoping that I can get to Legendborn and Bloodmarked this year. Number 2 is Hidden Gem, and this is a book with under 1,000 ratings on Goodreads, and now new releases as well as arcs from popular authors that, just haven't gained those ratings yet do not count. So for this, I'm choosing Daughter of Winter and Twilight, which is the sequel to Queen of Coin and Whispers by Helen Corcoran. I enjoyed that book a couple of years ago. I pre-ordered this release and I still haven't read it, so I'm meaning to get to this. I think this has around 600 ratings when I checked on Goodreads, so this should be a pretty safe bet, but I do want to read it sooner rather than later so that it doesn't get disqualified. The third prompt is published in the 80s, and for this I've chosen Dawn by Octavia E. Butler. I read my first Butler book last year in Kindred, and I've been meaning to pick up something else by her. This is the first book in her Exogenesis series, and I believe this was published in 86. I could be wrong on the date, but I've been meaning to check out more from her, and this seemed like a good opportunity to pick one up. Next up is High Fashion. Read a book where clothing, fashion, or fiber arts are important to the plot. This can be a crafty main character or a setting where fashion is explored, and they use the example of this book, which I'm going to pick Mask of Mirrors by M.A. Carrick, because this is one that has been on my radar this year, and I know that Danny from Danny Dabbles is going to be doing a deep dive into this series, so I would like to check it out so that I can, see her thoughts when they come out, so I'm hoping to get to this one. Number 5 is Down with the System, and for this it is to read a book with a main plot that revolves around disrupting a system, and for this I've chosen Ashes of the Sun by Django Wexler, since on the back there is the descriptor says, "Not even the ties of blood will keep them from splitting the world in two. Surrounded by the relics of a dead empire, 2 siblings, one who wields magic for the empire and the other who has vowed to bring it all down, will battle for the fate of their world in this first book of this epic new fantasy trilogy by best-selling author Django Wexler. So I feel like that fits. I'm gonna have to see, but I'm pretty sure this one will work for this prompt. Number 6 is Impossible Places. Read a book set in a location that would break a physicist. And the hard mode is that at least 50% of the book takes place in this spot that would break a physicist. So I'm assuming that the whole book does not have to be set there if I'm not doing hard mode. So for this, I am choosing Mr. Impossible by Maggie Stiefvater. This is the second book in the Dreamer trilogy. There are certain things in this series and in the Raven Cycle series where we go places that would absolutely break a physicist. It almost breaks the normal people that end up there. I'm not 100% sure that we will end up in those places in this book, but if we do, I think this will work for this prompt. If not, I will have to find another alternative. Number 7 is a book in parts, and for this we need to read a book that is separated into large sections within the main text. This can include things like acts, parts, days, years, and so on, but has to be more than just chapter breaks. And for this, I'm choosing Water Moon by Samantha Soto Yambao, and I think right off the bat we had parts. Yes. Part 1. So this will work for this prompt. And I really want to get to this year. Number 8 is Gods and Pantheons. And for this, read a book featuring divine beings. And for this, I'm choosing Faithbreaker by Hannah Kaner. If you know me at all, you know that this book was going to end up on this bingo board since it just got released. And I'm so excited to finish up this trilogy. This is literally called the Fallen Gods trilogy. And the first book is called God Killers. So you know there are gods involved here. So very excited to get to this one and that I could fit it on the board. Number 9 is last in a series, and really I should do a whole bingo board just of this because there are so many series out there that I want to finish. But for this, I'm choosing The Whispering Night by Susan Dennard. This is the third and final book in the Luminaries series by her. I think she's finishing up her Witchland series this year as well. So really, I could use either one, but I need to finish a Susan Dennard series this year. Number 10 is Book Club Book or Read Along Book. Read a book that was or is officially a group read on Our Fantasy. And then they list several places that you can source this from. And I looked at their past read along for, I think, the 2021 Hugo Awards. I chose The Cemetery Boys by Aiden Thomas. This has been on my shelf for years and I've been meaning to read it. I absolutely have to get to this year, and this seemed like a good reason to, spur me on. Number 11 is Parent Protagonist. Read a book where a main character has a child to care for. The child does not have to be biologically related to the character. So for this one, I'm choosing The Obelisk Gate by N.K. Jemisin. Parenthood was a very prevalent theme in the first book, and I'm assuming that is going to continue in this one, and I absolutely have to get to this second book this year. I loved the first book last year, but it was really complicated, and I'd like to get to this sooner rather than later since I was hoping to read these in back-to-back months and it hasn't happened yet. Number 12 is Epistolary, which means the book must prominently feature any of the following: diary or journal entries, letters, messages, newspaper clippings, transcripts, etc. So I'm keeping my options open with this one because I've picked 2 actually, because I know the first one fits and I think the second one does, so we're just going to see which one I get to in the next year or so. The first is Dear Mothman by Robin Gahn, and this is the story of a young boy who is processing his best friend's death through letters, like it's a middle grade novel. Other is Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies, and this one is one that has been on my TBR as well for a while, but I'm not 100% sure that this one fits. I think it does. Middle grade isn't always my forte, so I've kind of given myself a couple of options here because I would also like to get to Emily Wilde because I think I'm going to like it. Number 13 is Published in 2025, a book published in 2025, no reprints or new editions. And for this one, I've chosen the last 2025 release that I have on my shelf currently that I haven't assigned to anything else, and that is Fan Service by Rosie Danon. And this follows a man who plays a werewolf on TV and then starts turning into a werewolf as well, and the fan who is going to help him with that problem. I am interested in this one. I went to a signing event for this author and it seemed like this is going to be a really fun read, so I thought I would fit it in right here. Number 14 is an author of color. This is pretty self-explanatory, so I have put on here The Hacienda by Isabel Cane, and for this I've been meaning to read The Hacienda for a while, either that or The Vampires of El Norte. Both of these have descriptions that I find really, really interesting and I just haven't picked them up yet, so one of these two is going to be on my TBR for this. Number 15 is small press or self-published, so to read a book that is not published by one of the big 5 publishers, and for this I had something on my shelves that would have fit last year for this prompt and I didn't even know it. I did a little more research this year, and it is Saint's Death's Daughter by C.S.E. Cooney. This is published by Solaris, which is part of Rebellion Publishing, and they are a video game company, but they also publish books. That's what I got from their website. So I've been meaning to read this for a while, another book that I've had for a bit and want to check out. So I picked this up and I'm excited to have a reason to push me to read this because it sounds so very interesting. Number 15 is Biopunk. Read a book that focuses on biotechnology and or its consequences. And for this, I'm putting A Drop of Corruption by Robert Jackson Bennett in here. I'm currently reading this book. I'm really excited to continue reading this series, and I am very excited because I am halfway through this right now. So I'm going to be able to check off this square very, very quickly, and this fits this prompt perfectly. Number 17 is Elves and or Dwarves. Read a book that features the classical fantasy archetypes of elves and or dwarves. And I actually was struggling with this one a lot until I saw Margaret from The Word Nerd mention this book on Sprints the other night. And for that, it was Forged by Magic by Jenna Wolfhart. I believe we have a elf or half elf in this book as the main protagonist. So this is a romantasy that I've had on my shelves and I would like to read. Number 18 is a LGBTQIA plus protagonist. This is also pretty self-explanatory. They want you to have a main character under that umbrella, and for this I'm choosing Blood Debts by Terry J. Benton Walker, and this has a gay male main character as one of our voices. I think there are a couple different points of view in here, but I think it's twins that we're following, so one of the twins is gay, and I've been wanting to read this for a while. It might end up being a project book this year, so I wanted to get it on this list. Number 19 is 5 SFF short stories, and for this I'm picking The Mythic Dream. I picked this last year too and I didn't get to it, so we're gonna do it this year. This is a anthology with lots of different authors, including Shauna Maguire, Rebecca Roanhorse, Naomi Novik, a lot of people. So I am really interested to get to this one this year. Number 20 is Stranger in a Strange Land. Read a book that deals with being a foreigner in a new culture. The character must be either visiting or moving in as a minority. And for this, I'm choosing Babel by R.F. Kuang. I have a copy of this, but I actually don't have it in this room. It's in another part of the house and I don't want to go get it right now. But I'm currently reading this, so I would really like to use this for this prompt. Number 21 is Recycle a Bingo Square. Use a square from a previous year as long as it does not repeat one of the current squares. So for this, I actually chose urban fantasy since that is a square from a couple of years ago and it's a genre that I really like and would love the excuse to read more of. So for this one, I ended up choosing City of Mirth and Malice, which is the sequel to House of Bane and Blood by Alexis Menard. I loved City of Bane and Blood earlier this year, and I am really excited to continue this series. So I have picked it for this square. Next up is Cozy SFF, and for this, cozy is up to your discretion, what you find comforting, but the genre typically features relatable characters, low stakes, minimal conflict, and a happy ending. And for that, I'm going to choose Record of a Spaceborne Few by Becky Chambers. This is the third book in this Wayfarers series, and I have 2 more left to go. I would really like to get to both of them this year, but the Record of the Spaceborne Few is the first step in that process, so I'm hoping to get to this one. These are typically very comforting, even though they are emotionally distressing at times, usually things are like low stakes, so very excited to check this one out. Number 23 is generic title. It has to have either blood, bone, broken court, dark, shadow, song, sword, or throne in the title. Plurals are allowed. And for this one, I'm choosing Nettle and Bone by T. Kingfisher because I want to get more T. Kingfisher in my life and I just keep not doing it. Number 24 is not a book. So do something new besides reading a book. Watch a TV show, play a game, learn how to summon a demon. Okay, maybe not the last one. Spend time with fantasy, science fiction, or horror in another format. And for this one, I am going to choose to play the Spider-Man game, Miles Morales, on my PS5 because I have been meaning to get to that game for so long and I haven't done it. So I'd really like to get to this one and encourage myself to get back into gaming a little bit more because I haven't been doing very much of it. So that is my not a book prompt. Number 25 is Pirates, and it's to read a book where characters engage in piracy. And I was flabbergasted how difficult this was for me to find a book for this prompt, but I believe that I have found a way to do it. So I have the Dangerous Tides novella set from Jenny Nordbach, which I think is the author that's listed as the one on this series, but it's a series of novellas published by different romance authors. The first one is called To Seduce a Siren. So I think at least one of these is going to have pirates in it. Even on the backside, or not on the backside, on the front of this, there's a ship and a cutlass and a skull. So I'm feeling the pirate vibes. So I'm going to assume that pirates are involved somewhere here. We're going to find out. But that's it for my Our Fantasy board for 2025. If you want to check out the challenge, like I said, it will be linked down below. If you have any thoughts or feelings or want to let me know anything, you can also chat with me down there. And if you want to hit the like and subscribe button, both of those help me out quite a bit. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!